The skies of Zalara were once bright with green suns and singing winds. Trees danced with glowing leaves, and the rivers hummed with soft songs. The Zalari people lived in peace, their bodies glowing with warm light. They were kind, wise, and loved the balance of nature. They had no weapons. They had no armies. They believed the galaxy was good, but peace does not last forever. From the black edges of space came the Dravic Empire. Their ships were like giant insects made of metal, crawling across the stars. They came without warning. First, they blocked the skies. Then, they sent fire down. Forests burned. Towers fell. The singing winds turned into screams. The Zalari tried to speak. They sent messages of peace. But the Dravic did not listen. They captured whole cities. They turned gardens into camps. The Zalari could not fight. They could only run and hide in one small corner of the planet. Deep in a cave filled with glowing roots, the last council of the Zalari gathered, their bodies dim with sorrow. "We must send a call," said Elder Rael, his voice like falling leaves. "Someone in the stars may hear." "But who?" asked another. "The Galactic Council has already turned their backs on us." It was true. The Council, made of many powerful alien races, had refused to help. They feared the Dravic, they said. Zalara was too far. They said it was too late. Rael looked at an old stone screen, half covered in moss. "There is one race left, a forgotten one. Their name was once spoken in stories. The humans." The others stared at him with doubt. The humans? They disappeared long ago. "Some say they were only a myth." Rael nodded slowly. "But we have records. We know they once lived on a blue world called Earth. They helped others in old times. They were strong and strange, but they cared. But we do not know where they are now. Still," said Rael, "we must try." And so, the last spark of hope was sent out. A simple message, carried through old space waves, reaching far beyond the stars. To the humans of old Earth, "We are the Zalari. We are peaceful and in great danger. Our home burns. Our people fall. No one will help. If you still live, if your heart still beat, please, hear our cry." The signal left the cave, past the black skies, and vanished into the unknown. The council waited. Days passed, then weeks. The Dravic continued their attack. Forests turned into ash. The capital city of Vela fell. The people lost hope. Some said, "The humans are not real." Others said, "Even if they are real, why would they help us?" One young Zalari child asked her mother, "What if no one is coming?" Her mother only held her close and whispered, "We must believe. Just one spark is enough to light the dark." One night, deep in the forest, Elder Rael stood outside the cave. He looked up at the stars. His light was fading. His world was dying. Then something moved in the sky. A strange flicker. A sudden shadow. Then a quiet hum, like a deep breath. Rael frowned. No Dravic ship made such a sound. This was something different. The hum grew louder. Not like a roar, but like a calm storm. Other Zalari came out to see. Children pointed. Elders gasped. From the clouds came a ship, but not like the Dravics. This ship was black and silver, smooth and massive. It had no sharp claws or spikes. It floated with silent power, like a giant watching the world. No one knew what it was. The Dravic ships flew up to meet it. They sent a warning blast. The strange ship said nothing. Then, in one bright moment, a beam of light flashed from the ship. One Dravic cruiser disappeared, gone in a single silent strike. The Dravic ships panicked. Some fled. Some attacked. The black ship still did not speak. It hovered like a dark moon. Then, a voice echoed across all channels, soft, calm, and firm. "We received your message. We heard your cry. You are not alone." Rael dropped to his knees, tears in his glowing eyes. All around him, the Zalari gasped in wonder. A child whispered, "They came. The humans came." Above them, the ship stayed still. No more weapons fired. Just presence, just power. And hope. The black ship floated quietly above Zalara. It did not move. It did not speak again. It simply watched. The Zalari gathered in the forests, on rooftops, and on broken hills. They stared up in wonder. Many could not believe it. A few wept softly. The glowing leaves of the trees shimmered in the still air. Elder Rail stood on a stone platform, eyes full of hope and fear. They heard us, he whispered. The humans heard. The Dravik did not stay silent for long. Their pride was wounded. They had ruled this part of the galaxy for centuries. No one had ever dared to challenge them. Not like this. A Dravik fleet of 7 warships arrived from orbit. Their commander, Captain Vroth, was furious. His voice roared across the planet. A known vessel. You are in Dravik space. Leave now or be destroyed. The black human ship gave no reply. Captain Vroth launched a warning shot. A burning red missile flew toward the strange ship. It hit, but nothing happened. The ship did not move. It did not even turn. The Zolari held their breath. Children clung to parents. Warriors, though few, stood ready to defend, even with weak tools. Then the black ship moved, not fast, not loud. It turned slowly, facing the Dravik fleet. From its center, a glowing blue circle opened like an eye. A humming sound filled the sky. Lights ran across its surface like rivers of fire. Then it fired. One blue beam stretched from the human ship to the nearest Dravik cruiser. In less than a second, the Dravik ship exploded in silence. No fire, no wreckage, just gone. The Dravik screamed in confusion. Captain Vroth shouted orders. The remaining 6 warships opened fire, launching missiles and energy blasts. The human ship danced between the shots. It moved so fast the eye could barely follow. It was not just strong, it was smart. 2 more Dravik ships were destroyed in moments. A voice came again, calm and clear. We are humanity. You attacked the innocent. Now you face us. The Dravik ships panicked. 3 tried to flee. The human ship did not follow. It let them go. One last Dravik ship remained, spinning helplessly in orbit. It sent a weak message. We surrender. Back on the ground, the Zolari could not believe what they had seen. Never in their history had they witnessed such power. Not from the Dravik, not from the Council, not even in the oldest legends. A soft light began to shine under the human ship. A smaller craft dropped down, quiet as a leaf. It landed gently in a wide clearing near the ruins of the city. Elder Rail, along with a few brave leaders, approached it. They moved slowly, not knowing what to expect. The ship opened with a soft hiss. From the mist stepped out 3 figures. They wore dark armor, smooth and clean. Their helmets covered their faces. But one removed his helmet, revealing a pale-skinned man with sharp eyes and silver hair. He looked at the Zolari. He did not smile, but his eyes were kind. I am Commander Hale of the United Human Forces, he said simply. You asked for help. We came. Rail stepped forward, shaking slightly. You are real. The humans still live. Hale nodded. We live. We watched from far. We listened. When your message came, we chose to act. Rail lowered his head with respect. You saved us. Commander Hale looked around at the burned trees, the broken homes, and the glowing children watching from behind branches. No, he said. We only answered your call. But we are not finished. More help is coming. He turned his eyes to the stars, and the stars answered. One by one. More human ships dropped out of space. First 10, then 20, then more. The sky filled with silver and black, like a silent army from ancient dreams. Some ships landed. Some stayed above. Each one brought hope. The Zolari could not speak. They watched as machines flew out, scanning the ground. Small robots helped clear debris. Tall towers unfolded from the ships. Like flowers made of metal. Medical teams appeared. Human soldiers gave out food and water. Some even helped fix lights and carry heavy stones. The Zolari children laughed for the first time in many days. A young girl ran to Commander Hale and handed him a glowing flower. For you, she said softly. He bent down, took the flower gently, and nodded. Thank you. We will protect you from the trees, from the skies, and from every corner of Zelara. The truth became clear. Humanity had returned, and they were not here to conquer. They were here to stand beside those who had been left behind. The stars above Zelara were no longer quiet. Dozens of human warships floated across the sky. their silver bodies shining in the sun. Some were large like cities, others small and fast like birds, but each ship carried power silent, steady, and strong. For the first time, the Dravic Empire was afraid. Far across the galaxy. In the Dravic Command Center, High General Vars growled with rage. His sharp claws tapped the table as red lights blinked around him. Humans, he shouted. They were supposed to be gone. An officer bowed low. We believe they vanished long ago, General. But now they fight with machines we do not understand, Vars slammed his fist down. Then we will understand them through war. He sent a command. All available Dravic forces were to gather near Zalara. He would crush the humans and show the galaxy that no one could challenge the Empire. Meanwhile, on the surface of Zalara, life was slowly returning. Human medics treated the wounded. Engineers fixed energy lines. Even human children brought in special family ships. Played beside Zalari children. It was like light returning after a long night. But the war was not over. Commander Hale stood on a high hill with Elder Rail. They both looked to the horizon. The Dravic will return, Rail said softly. Yes, Hale replied. But this time, we will be ready. High above, human sensors picked up movement. A large enemy fleet was coming, at least 60 Dravic warships. Commander Hale gave the order. Prepare the defense grid. All across space, human ships began to move. Shields powered up. Weapons turned toward the stars. Satellites floated into position. The human flagship, HFS Guardian, hovered in the center like a silent protector. Ours. Later, the Dravic fleet arrived. Their ships were dark and covered in red markings. They spread out like a black wave, confident and cruel. From the largest ship, General Vars sent a message. Humans, leave this world. It is not yours. Commander Hale replied calmly. Zalara called for help, and Earth answered, if you try to harm them again, you will not return home. The Dravic laughed. Then, without warning, they attacked. Missiles screamed across space. Energy blasts lit the sky. The battle began. But humanity was not like before. They did not fight with only weapons. They fought with knowledge, with unity, and with purpose. Human ships moved together like dancers. Their weapons were fast and silent. Their shields bent but did not break. The HFS Nova unleashed a powerful beam, cutting through to Dravic ships in one blast. Smaller human fighters flew between enemy ships, disabling engines and weapons without destroying the crew. They were fierce, but not cruel. The Zalari watched from the surface. Their glowing eyes reflected the lights of the battle. A child asked, will they win? Rail placed a hand on the child's shoulder. Yes, because they are not fighting for themselves. They are fighting for what is right. Back in orbit, the battle turned. Dravic ships began to fall. One by one, they broke apart. General Vars screamed in anger. He sent his command ship forward, hoping to turn the tide. The HFS Guardian met it head-on. Their weapons fired in perfect timing. The Dravic flagship cracked open, fire spilling from its side. But before it exploded, Vars sent a message. This is not over. The Dravic ships fled. Some were destroyed. Others escaped into deep space. The battle was won. Cheers rose from the human ships. On Zalara, the forest echoed with joy. Commander Hale stood before the Zalari Council that night. Fires glowed gently around them, and the stars above were quiet again. You risked much to help us. Rail said, why? Hale looked around. His voice was quiet, but firm. Long ago, Earth was hurt. We were ignored, left alone. We survived, but we remembered. He looked at the glowing children playing nearby. When we heard your message, we knew we couldn't let another kind people suffer. Not when we could help. Rail nodded slowly. Then Earth is more than strong. It is kind. The humans did not celebrate with parades. Instead, they rebuilt. They shared food. They taught the Zalari how to protect themselves. A young human engineer showed a group of Zalari how to build shield towers using local materials. You won't need us forever, she said with a smile. But we'll always answer if you call. That night, under the green moon, A new bond was formed not through fear or power, but through hope. And as the stars twinkled above, many across the galaxy began to whisper, "The humans are back." The stars had seen many wars, many battles, but none like this. The humans pressed on, chasing the Dravik beyond Zalara's skies. The once proud Dravik fleet was now broken and scattered, running from a power it had never faced before. "Commander." Hale stood on the bridge of the HFS Guardian, watching the glowing planet fade behind them. His voice was steady as he spoke to his crew. "We will follow them home. The fight is not over until the Dravik learn that the galaxy is not theirs to rule." The human ships moved together, like a silent river flowing through the Black Sea of space. Their engines hummed with power, their weapons ready but restrained. The Dravik homeworld was dark and cold, a place of harsh mountains and deep shadows. It was the heart of the Empire, the place where fear was born and where they're cruel. Leaders waited, but this time the Dravik did not greet the humans with open arms. Their cities were full of soldiers ready for war, but also civilians who knew the end was near. As the human fleet approached, the Galactic Council sent a warning. "Humans, stop. Your actions threaten peace. Withdraw now." Commander Hale replied. Calmly, the Council had its chance to stop the Dravik before. They did not act. "We will." On the ground below, Solari ambassadors met with the humans. Elder Rail spoke quietly. The galaxy feared the Dravik's power. They chose silence while we suffered. One human officer nodded. "Fear is a poor teacher. It makes you wait until it is too late." The humans landed near a Dravik military base. Instead of blasting it to dust, they showed mercy. They offered the Dravik soldiers a choice: lay down their weapons and live in peace, or continue and face destruction. Some Dravik surrendered immediately. Others fled into the dark forests or caves. The Solari watched as human engineers began repairing towns the Dravik had destroyed. Bridges were rebuilt, gardens planted again. The humans did not only fight fire with fire, they brought light to dark places. But the Dravik leaders were stubborn. They refused to surrender. High General Var sent a final message, full of threats and pride. "We will burn your worlds. You cannot win." Commander Hale answered, "We do not want war, but we will protect the innocent." The next battle was not like the last. It was fierce and fast, fought among the stars and on the ground. Human soldiers moved with careful skill, protecting civilians and avoiding unnecessary damage. A human captain named Lyra led a squad deep into the Dravik capital city. Her voice was steady as she spoke through the comms. "Remember, we are here to stop the fight, not start it. If you see a chance to save lives, take it." Her squad found a group of children trapped in a collapsed building. They worked quickly, lifting debris and calming frightened faces. A small Dravik boy watched silently. He had never seen humans before. Lyra knelt beside him. "You are safe now. We are here to help." The boy's eyes shone with surprise. He nodded slowly. At the same time, Elder Rail spoke to a human commander. "You show mercy even to those who hurt us. Why?" The commander smiled gently. "Because we know pain. We once lived in darkness, but we chose to bring light, not only with weapons, but with kindness." Rail looked at the healing city, at the children playing, and understood. The battle ended with the Dravik surrendering. They signed peace agreements with humans and Zolari alike for the first time. The cruel empire's hold was broken. The Galactic Council watched quietly. They could no longer deny the power and heart of humanity. Later, in a quiet room filled with green plants and soft light, Commander Hale met with Solari leaders. "We did what you asked," Hale said. "But this is just the beginning." Rail nodded. "The galaxy must learn. We must stand together." Hale looked out the window at the stars. "We will help build a future where no one fears the dark, where kindness is stronger than power." The Solari smiled. A new dawn had come. The galaxy was quiet again, but this time it was a peaceful quiet. The Dravik Empire was broken. Their armies scattered, and their cruel rule ended. Across the stars, many planets breathed easier, and hope returned to faces long worn with fear. On Zalara, life bloomed once more. The forest grew tall and bright. The rivers sang softly, and children laughed freely beneath glowing trees. The Zolari had been saved, not just by power, but by a kindness they had not known in many years. Commander Hale stood on a hill overlooking the rebuilding city of Vela. Beside him was Elder Rail, whose light shone warmly in the fading sun. "You have given us more than help," Rail said quietly. "You have given us hope." Hale smiled softly. "Hope is the most powerful thing there is. It can light the darkest places." The humans did not seek control or power. They asked for nothing in return except one simple request: stand for each other. Hale told the gathered Zolari and their new friends from other worlds, never allow cruelty to rise again. The Galactic Council, once silent or fearful, now openly praised humanity. They admitted their mistake in ignoring the Zolari's cries. Across the galaxy, stories spread, tales of a distant blue world called Earth, where people had once disappeared but had never truly vanished. They had watched, learned, and returned stronger than ever. One story told of a small Zolari child playing in a garden on Earth, alongside a human child. The two laughed and chased glowing butterflies beneath a sky full of stars. The bond between humans and the Zolari was more than friendship. It was a promise that no one would stand alone. Commander Hale often spoke of that promise to his people. "We once faced darkness alone," he said, "but we survived, we grew, and now we answer the calls of those in need, because that is who we are." Back on Earth, the great cities shone with new life. Humans and aliens worked side by side, sharing knowledge, culture, and hope. The Earth was no longer just a planet, it was a beacon. As Elder Rail watched the stars from his home on Zelara, he knew the galaxy had changed forever. Humanity had heard the plea for help, and they had come not as conquerors, but as protectors. The stars would never forget.